Nancy is in San Jose, California, with more on the fallout for Hillary Clinton. So, Nancy, how does this issue complicate Clinton's message and the race for California?
Well, as we know, Elaine, this issue of honesty and trustworthiness has been dogging her for months, and this certainly doesn't help, especially because she is by and large sticking to a story that is disputed somewhat by this report. She has always maintained, for example, and did again today, that she had a server that had been approved by the State Department, but the report says it wasn't. She says that her server was secure. The report says hackers tried to get into it, and we don't know if they were successful. So she has made the decision to basically stay where she is on this story. Interestingly, she did an interview this afternoon where instead of saying, as she always has, that it was approved, she said she thought it was approved. She believed it was approved. So that's a slight tweak. But other than that, Elaine, she is sticking with the story that she has had for the past year and a half. And, you know, it is a problem for her. Donald Trump brought it up again today. It just gives him more fodder for the case that he's making, that she somehow goes around the guidelines. And in his argument, which we can't prove at this point because the FBI is still going on, he says she's broken the law.
Nancy, I want to ask you about this. Donald Trump and Bernie Sanders have both said they'd be open to debating each other before the California primary. Clinton more or less dismissed the idea as a joke and focused on her debating Trump in the general. What have you heard from the Sanders campaign and from the Clinton campaign?
Well, the Sanders campaign is all for it. They'd love nothing more than to stand there on a stage, toe-to-toe with Donald Trump. Bernie Sanders has been tweeting about the fact that he'd like to not just do this debate, but do it in a stadium here in California where as many people could watch that debate as possible. His campaign manager, Jeff Weaver, today said that there have been some discussions with the Trump camp. He didn't want to get into specifics, but he also said that he's been pursued by every network about putting this debate on the air because, in his words, it would be a ratings bonanza. Hillary Clinton's camp still insists that they think this is a joke. They hope it's a joke, Elaine, because if this debate does come to pass, she's going to have a very difficult decision to make about whether she wants to join those two men on the stage, which is kind of an awkward position to be in, or watch it and then hope that she doesn't look like she's trying to avoid Senator Sanders or Donald Trump, and whereas they're both more than happy to go up against each other.
Interesting prospect, though, to say the least. All right, let me ask you about this. Earlier Thursday, while in Japan, President Obama was asked about world leaders' impressions of the primaries so far. He described how they're, quote unquote, rattled by what he says is what they perceive is Donald Trump's ignorance. What impact do you see the president having on the campaign as a surrogate for Hillary Clinton going forward?
Well, probably not much impact on diehard Trump supporters. And Trump said defiantly on Thursday that it's good that leaders are rattled. He wants them to be rattled. But I'll tell you, just a few minutes ago, Hillary Clinton brought up that comment and brought up the fact that Trump thinks it's a good thing for his opponent, for countries overseas to be rattled. And she said that's exactly what we don't want. We want foreign nations to believe that the U.S. is strong and steady and keeps its word. So we're now seeing a pattern emerge where Hillary Clinton on a daily basis is taking things that Donald Trump has said just that day or the day before and working it into her stump speech. That's a change for her. It's something obviously Donald Trump has been doing for quite some time because he's got this kind of off-the-cuff style where he reacts to the events of the day. Hillary Clinton tends to have a much more measured, scripted speech, but it's clear that her campaign feels that she needs to start jumping on these comments that he makes in order to look like she's willing to go head-to-head with him.
All right, Nancy Cordes there among the enthusiastic Hillary Clinton supporters in San Jose for us. Nancy, thank you.